Do catalytic converters rob horsepower? The short answer, yes, but not nearly as much as most people imagine. This is one of those debates that's passed around car forums like a bowl of Halloween candy, especially amongst people looking for a few extra ponies. People tend to picture the catalytic converter as a giant cork in the exhaust, just strangling all the performance out of your car. It's not quite like that. The reality is far less dramatic than internet legend would have you believe. If you've ever heard someone blame a converter for a car feeling slow, it's probably something else. The main job of the catalytic converter is to reduce emissions. Think of it as a little chemical factory in your exhaust. It takes harmful stuff like carbon monoxide and turns it into less harmful stuff you don't have to feel as guilty about when you see kids riding bikes beside your car. But does it take away real performance? On very old cars, think carbureted dinosaurs from the 70s, you might lose as much as 10% of your horsepower, depending how restrictive the cats were back then. Today's tech is far improved. If you've got a modern car, especially after the late 90s, the impact is more in the 1 to 2% range. That's barely noticeable, unless you're chasing lap times at your local drag strip or building a car for a magazine cover shoot. Here's the real pain point. People often replace or gut their catalytic converters, hoping to magically unlock hidden power, only to end up with the same slow run to the grocery store, plus a check engine light. Definitely a lose-lose if you have emissions testing like I do in Portland. Pro tip, before blaming the cat for sluggish performance, check everything else: air filter, spark plugs, sensors. Catalytic converters aren't usually the bottleneck unless yours is physically clogged, in which case your car will feel like it's towing a boat. The aftermarket is full of high-flow catalytic converters. Some do offer a small improvement if you have a heavily built engine, but you're unlikely to notice any seat-of-the-pants difference in a stock sedan. Numbers rarely crack more than a few additional horsepower. There's a big risk in running without a cat, besides the obvious environmental factor. You'll likely fail emissions, trip warning lights, and in some places rack up hefty fines. Oregon isn't exactly lenient. Ask anyone who's failed DEQ inspection by hacking up their exhaust. A fun fact: professional race cars don't run catalytic converters, but for street cars driven daily, it's just not worth the trade-off. The loss in horsepower is minimal, and modern converters barely affect sound or throttle response. Sleep better knowing you don't have to pollute for an extra horsepower. If you're fixated on performance, there's more to be gained from tuning, intake and exhaust upgrades, or even lighter wheels. I promise, chasing every last bit from your catalytic converter just isn't the big play you think it is. So, does the catalytic converter rob horsepower? Technically, yes, a sliver. But for 99% of drivers, it's background noise. Keep your converter, stay on the right side of the law, and don't sweat those 3 missing horses. You'll never notice them anywhere except on a dyno sheet.